Open. Ah. Okay ba, audio? Check mo nga. Check mo nga sa labas.
Hindi ka pa naman nag-start eh.
Hindi, nag-start na ako. One hour live lang. Naka-live na ako eh.
Ay, wait. Wala kang voice dyan?
Meron. Check ko nga muna kung maganda yung audio sa labas. Just chat mo ako. Hello, good evening teachers. Good evening Sir Marias. Okay po yung audio natin. Number 1 pa lang naman. Maingay. Hello po, good evening po. Ayan, so 1 hour live lang. Quick lang ngayon, no? Pwedeng 4 times or 3 times a week tayo. Kasi di kaya ng schedule. Kita ba? Maganda ba? Hello, good evening po. Kita ba? Maganda ba? Hello, good evening po. Yan, buti naman not okay. No? So, start tayo agad kapag nag 10 viewers tayo. Quick live lang. Okay, good evening po. So, taga saan po yung mga viewers natin? Mga future LPTs, no? Okay, start na pa tayo agad. Okay, so sa nating disclaimer lang, so no copyright infringement intended. All the materials found on this video belong to its rightful owner. And this video is created for educational purposes only. So mention your review bodies, no? Okay, so let's start. So for the first item, no, first question. So good evening Sir Ma'am Nolong. Okay, so the oldest ancestor of modern man to be found in Asia has been located in both blank A. Java and China, B. India and China, C. Vietnam and Java, D. India and Burma. Okay. So the oldest ancestor of modern man to be found in Asia has been located in both A. Java and China, B. India and China, C. Vietnam and Java, D. India and Burma. So comment down your answers, teacher, no? So okay na nagko-comment tayo. Okay? Okay. So, i-analyze muna natin yung question, no? So, the question asks about the geographical locations in Asia where the oldest ancestors of modern human have been discovered. So, understanding human evolutionary history and significant archaeological discoveries is crucial to answering these questions, this question correctly, no? So, analyze natin yung mga option. So, let's go first with letter D, no? India and Burma. For Burma or Myanmar, no? Myanmar na kasi si Burma ngayon eh. So, India and Burma, meron naman silang archaeological significance pero hindi sila prominent for early human fossils compared to the right answer na sasabihin ko mamaya, no? So, the discoveries dito sa India and Burma, no, do not compare to the notable finds sa ating correct answer. So, alis na si letter D. So, let's go with letter C, Vietnam and Java. Okay? So, si Vietnam, meron naman siyang important prehistoric sites, no? Pero hindi siya nag-yield as ancient hominin fossils as those found in Java. Okay, so crucial pa rin naman siya for early human fossils, pero hindi ito yung tamang sagot. So, let's go with letter A or letter B. Okay? So, comment down your answer, no? Yung tamang sagot na tayo agad, A or B? Okay, A or B? So, sabi ni Sir Mark Anthony, no? A. Okay, so very good. It's letter A, no? Kasi nga, kung mapapansin nyo, sa letter D, meron ng India. Pero sabi ko kanina, meron naman silang archaeological significance, pero hindi sila prominent, no? For early human fossils. No? So, si B may India siya, si D may India din, pero mali si D. So, mali na rin si letter B. So, yun yung mga technique natin sa pagsasagot. Okay? So, ang tamang sagot dito is letter A, Java and China. Si Java, no? Isa siyang isla sa Indonesia, no? Na sikat sa kanyang discovery of the Java man. Okay? Kaya nga Java, no? So, Java man. Isa siyang Homo erectus, no? Kung alam niyo yung libro ni Eugene Dubois, no? Na nag-discover, no? Dun sa ating Java man. Okay? So, Java man is one of the earliest human fossils found outside Africa, no? Sa China naman, dito naman natin matatagpuan si Peking man. Isa rin siyang Homo erectus, no? So, si Peking man, na-discover siya malapit sa Beijing, no? So, both these regions, no, Java and China, are pivotal in the study of early human migration and evolution. Okay, so, tamang sagot dito is letter A. Okay? So, ito yung ating rationalization. Okay, so Java and China are the most significant locations in Asia where early ancestors of modern humans, no, specifically Homo erectus, have been found. So, the discoveries of Java man and Peking man provide crucial evidence for the spread of early humans out of Africa and their evolution. So, Java, isa siyang Homo erectus, no, specifically Java man. So, sa China naman, dito naman si Peking man. Okay, so Eugene Dubois, no? Siyang Netherlands, no? So, was a Dutch anatomist and geologist who discovered the remains of Java man, the first known fossil of Homo erectus. Okay, so let's proceed with number 2. So, which of the following was not an invention of Neolithic Revolution? So, Neolithic, no, revolution. So, A, improved tool making. B, farming. C, printing. D, pottery. So, si Neolithic, nasa New Stone Age na siya, no? From the word neo or new. Okay? So, comment down your answers, teachers. So, react naman pag nagets yung ating number 1. Okay? And then, mag-ask lang kayo ng question sa ating comment section kung may tanong kayo. Okay, so which of the following was not, okay, not an innovation of the Neolithic Revolution? So, tignan mo natin, i-analyze and comprehend muna natin yung question, okay? So, the Neolithic Revolution, teachers, mark a crucial turning point in human history, okay? Transitioning from a hunter-gatherer lifestyle to a settled agriculture. Meron na ring permanent settlement dito, okay? So, understanding the innovations associated with this period helps in identifying which option does not belong Okay, so i-analyze muna natin yung mga option. Okay. So, uh, letter A, improve tool making. Okay. So, during the Neolithic Revolution, teachers, there was indeed an advancement in tool making techniques. Okay. So, tool become more specialized and efficient to meet the demands of agriculture and settled life, no? So, from hunting and gathering lang, dahil dito sa mga improved tool making, mas napadali yung kanilang pamumuhay at mas nakapag-settle sila ng mas maayos. Okay? And then, letter B, farming. Okay, so, the Neolithic Revolution teachers is characterized by the development of agriculture, including the domestication of plants and animals. And this innovation allowed societies to produce food surplus and support larger population. Tandaan natin teachers na during Neolithic Revolution, crucial si farming. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng permanent settlement kasi nga may mapagkukunan na sila ng kanilang mga pagkain. Okay? Hindi na tulad ng pagiging nomadic lifestyle nila na kapag wala ng pagkain or mga animals sa lugar na to, lilipat na sila ng ibang lugar. So, naalis na yun sa ating Neolithic period. So, let's go with the next option, letter D, pottery. Okay, so pottery making is considered one of the key innovations of the Neolithic Revolution. Teachers, tandaan niyo yan, no? Kasi it allowed for the storage, for the cooking, and preservation of food, no? Contributing significantly to the development of settled communities. So, advanced na rin tong si pottery during, meron na rin tong si pottery during Neolithic Revolution, no? So, ang tamang sagot dito, teachers, ay printing, no? Kasi ang nasa question natin during the Neolithic Revolution was not an innovation during the Neolithic Revolution. So, tandaan natin na si printing, na-discover lang siya nung Industrial Revolution na, okay? Ang nag-discover dyan sa printing press ay si Johannes Gutenberg, no? If I'm not mistaken, no? For sure, naalala nyo naman yun, no? Na kapag sinabi nating Industrial Revolution, na yung pamamagitan ng kanilang production is from kamay-kamay lang, no? Naging gumamit na sila ng machine. Yun ang ating Industrial Revolution, okay? So, the correct answer here is letter C. Okay? Was not an innovation of Neolithic Revolution. So, bakit nga ba? So, here's the rationalization. Okay? So, printing technology did not emerge until much later in the human history. Around the 15th century with Johannes Gutenberg's invention of the printing press. Okay? So, the Neolithic Revolution occurred around 10,000 years ago, focusing on agricultural innovations, improved toolmaking, and the development of pottery. Okay? So, gets ba, teachers? Okay, so gets ba, teachers? Okay, so let's move, no? Sa ating question number 3, no? Lowest, or ano bang pagka-pronounce niyan? Hindi naman tinatanong sa let, no? So, lowest is blank. So, A, silt from rivers, B, coastal sand, C, clay deposits, D, rich layers of dust blown by glacial winds. Okay, so comment down your answers, teachers. May nag-comment dito. Sir, ano po pagkaiba ng Neolithic and Paleolithic? Okay, so kapag sinabi nating Paleolithic or Old Stone Age, no, and Neolithic or New Stone Age, no, meron naman siyang distinction periods in human prehistory, no. Nakaka-characterize natin siya sa significant differences in lifestyle, tool and societal organization. Kapag sinabi nating Paleolithic era or Old Stone Age, ang lifestyle dyan ay nomadic, no? Hunter, gatherer. No? Kapag sabi nating nomads kasi, yan yung mga palipat-lipat ng tirahan or ng pwesto. Kapag wala na silang makalap na pagkain, lilipat na naman sila sa ibang lugar. Okay? Tapos yung tools nila dyan sa Paleolithic era, no? Yung mga pang-hunt lang. Okay? Yung mga pang-hunt lang. And then, yung shelter nila, temporary lang, nasa cave sila, hindi tulad ng Neolithic na nakagawa na sila ng kanilang mga bahay. Okay? Ang lifestyle kasi sa Neolithic, no? Settled communities na sila, no? Kasi nga mayroon na silang agriculture, no? And nagpa-pasture rin sila ng mga animals. Nagdo-domesticate na sila ng kanilang mga animals, okay? And advanced na yung mga kagamitan nila diyan sa Neolithic. Okay? So, gets na ba, ma'am? Okay. So, mabalik tayo sa ating number 3 question. Okay, so itong question kasi, no, yung term na lowest kasi, nagre-refer siya sa isang specific type of geological deposit that has significant implications for understanding the past climates, no, and human history. So, essential siya kasi essential siya para masagutan natin tong question na to, no? So, i-analyze natin yung option. Silt from rivers. Okay, so silt from rivers is fine sedimentary materials, no, carried by water and deposited along river banks and floodplains, no? Although ang silt naman nakakapag-contribute naman sila to sedimentary deposits, it does not specifically define lowest kasi, okay? So, let's go with letter B and letter C. So, wrong answer na tong A, B, C. Okay? So, sabi natin coastal sand, no? From the word coastal, no? Nagde-deposit lang siya, no? Nagre-refer lang siya sa sand deposit found along coastlines due to wave actions and erosion processes. Okay? So, di rin siya nagde-describe dun sa ating tatanong. Okay? So, the same with the letter C, clay deposits, no? Sedimentary material din siya, na composed of many minerals. Pero, although important naman siya for geological material, hindi naman siya nagdi-distinct sa ating tanong. Okay? So, ang tamang sagot dito ay letter D. Okay, letter D, rich layer of dust blown by glacial winds. Okay, so here's the rationalization. Okay? So, in some parts of the world, no, wind-blown dust and silt blanket the land. So, this layer of fine material, rich material is called loess. Okay? So, loess is mostly created by wind, but can also be formed by glaciers. Okay? When glaciers grind rocks to a fine powder, loess can form. So, streams can carry the powder to the end of glaciers. Okay? Okay, let's proceed. Okay lang yan, ma'am, kung wala po kayong tamang sagot, no? At least matatandaan nyo yung mga sinagot nyo. Kasi nga sa review, kapag mali yung ating nasasagot, hindi na natin siya nakakalimutan. Kasi nga kapag na-encounter ulit natin yung tanong, mapapasabi ka, nabasa ko na to, na-encounter ko na tong question na to na dati, mali ko to. So ito yung tamang sagot dito, o di ba? Nagkaroon ka na ng idea. Okay, and malayo pa naman yung board exam, may oras pa para mag-aral. Okay, so double effort lang, ma'am. Kaya mo yan. Yes, kung maganda yung audio. Pero kung hindi maganda yung audio, hindi ko na siya ipopost. Okay? So magandang manood din kayo sa live kasi nakadepende din sa audio eh. Okay, so rice farming began in blank. A, Southeast Asia. B, China. C, Japan. D, India. Okay, rice farming began in blank. A. Southeast Asia, B. China, C. Japan, D. India. So the question asks about the origin of rice farming, which is a significant agricultural practice, no, with deep cultural and historical roots. Identifying the correct region where rice farming originated is essential in answering this question correctly, teachers. Okay? So, analyze natin yung question, yung mga option, no? So, muna natin si India. Okay? So, si India, rich naman yung tradition niya sa rice cultivation. Ang kaso nga lang, no? It did not independently originate rice farming. So, mali na si letter D dito. Okay? So, si letter C naman, Japan. Okay, si Japan naman, no? Inadapt niya yung rice farming from China during ancient times. Pero tulad ni India, no, it did not independently originate rice cultivation kasi nga nag-adapt lang siya from China. So mali na si C, mali na rin si D. So it's either A or B. So comment down your answer, teachers. Okay, so let's proceed with the right answer na agad, no? So ang tamang sagot dyan ay China. Okay? So, bakit nga ba mali si Southeast Asia? No? So, mali si Southeast Asia, pero yun nga, meron naman siyang long history of rice cultivation and kilala rin siya, no, sa diverse varieties of rice. Ang kaso nga lang, hindi ito yung origin ng rice farming. Ang nasa tanong kasi, saan nag-originate ang rice farming? So, ang tamang sagot dyan ay letter B. Okay? So, China is widely recognized, no, as one of the earliest centers of rice domestication and cultivation. And rice farming has been practiced in China for thousands of years. So, contributing significantly to its cultural and agricultural heritage. Okay, so, yung rationalization dito, no? So, from Britannica. So, many cultures have evidence of early rice cultivation, including China, India, and the cultivations of Southeast Asia. However, the earliest archaeological evidence comes from Central and Eastern China and dates to 7,000 to 5,000 BCE. Okay? So, next question agad tayo. The summer monsoon does not affect blank. The summer monsoon does not affect blank. A. India, B. Burma, C. Indonesia, D. Thailand. Okay, comment down your answers, teachers. So, the question addresses the geographical impact of the summer monsoon, no? Excuse me ulit. Yung summer monsoon, isa siyang seasonal wind, no? Wind pattern that significantly affects the climate of various regions in Asia. No? So, proper comprehension dito sa tanong na to, no? Mag-help sa atin sa pag-identify ng tamang sagot. So, i-analyze natin yung question, ay yung option. So, letter A, India. So, mali si India, no? Although si India, isa siya sa mga primary regions, no, affected by the summer monsoon, nag-ML pa nga. Summer monsoon, no? The monsoon season is crucial for Indian agriculture din, di ba? Bringing heavy rains from June to September. Pero ang tanong kasi, no, does not affect. Okay? So, letter B, Burma, or kilala siya ngayon bilang Myanmar. Okay, so si Myanmar, no, located siya sa Southeast Asia, no? And significantly influenced siya ng summer monsoon. Okay, so nakaka-receive din si Myanmar ng substantial rainfall during the monsoon season. Kapag sinabi kasi nating summer monsoon, no, kabaliktaran siya ng winter monsoon. Kapag summer monsoon, maulan. Kapag winter monsoon naman, tagtuyot. So, madaming so common ang drought, no? So letter D, Thailand, no? May influence din siya ng summer monsoon, okay? Nakaka-receive kasi si Thailand ng heavy rains that are essential for its agriculture and water supply. So ang tamang sagot dito, teachers, ay letter C, no? So ito yung rationalization natin. So Indonesia's climate is more often influenced by the intertropical convergence zone and the maritime monsoon system, so which results in more consistent rainfall throughout the year rather than the distinct summer monsoon season observed in India, Burma, Myanmar, and Thailand. Okay? So summer monsoon, heavy rain. Kapag winter monsoon, heavy drought. Okay? So, si letter C kasi, no, Indonesia. Located siya closer sa equator, no? Meron kasi siyang different climatic pattern. Although nakaka-experience naman siya ng seasonal rains, no, it is not primarily affected by the South Asian summer monsoon kasi, no? In the same way as the other listed countries. Okay, so let's proceed. The first Asian civilization began in blank. A. In and around river valleys. B. In the mountains. C. On the coast. D. In the southern island regions. Okay, so yung question, no? The question asks about the geographical origins of the first ancient civilization. So, understanding where early civilizations emerged is crucial to answering this question correctly, no? So, basic na lang to sa inyo, teachers. So, comment down your answer. Ay, nawawala po ba yung audio? Pam, check mo nga. Check mo yung audio. Nawawala daw eh. Hello? Okay na po ba? Or nawawala pa rin? Nawawala pa rin ba, teachers? Hindi, pero okay ba yung audio? Hindi naman nawawala. Baka sa internet ko na naman din. Okay, so diretso na tayo sa tamang sagot kasi basic na lang to sa inyo, no? So, ang tamang sagot dyan is letter A, no? In and around the river valleys. Okay, so the first ancient civilization began in and around river valleys, no? So the fertile land and water resources provided by rivers like the Indus, Yellow, and Tigris Euphrates allowed early societies to develop agriculture, which supported population growth and the establishment of complex societies. Okay, so bakit nga ba ito yung tamang sagot, no? Siyempre, teachers, in and around river valleys, kung saan kasi may tubig, okay? Doon kasi mas nakakapag grow sila ng kanilang mga tinatanim, no? So historically, no, many of the earliest civilizations emerged in river valleys, and these areas, no, provided fertile soil due to annual flooding, a reliable water supply, and opportunities for irrigation, which supported agriculture and allowed societies to thrive. So examples include the Indus Valley Civilization in present-day Pakistan and Northwest India, and yung Yellow River sa China, no? Yellow River Civilization sa China, and yung Mesopotamia. Okay? So let's proceed. So population densities in Asia are generally blank. A. High. B. Low. C. About the same as those of the West, and D. Low except for those of China. Okay, so alisin na natin agad dito si letter D, no? Low ba ang population sa China? Ay sa Asia? So hindi, no? So, mali na si letter D dito, teachers. Okay? Kasi nga, while China has a very high population density, no, other Asian countries like India, Japan, South Korea, and Bangladesh, pati nga dito sa Pilipinas, di ba, have high population densities. So, mali na si letter D. Okay? So, since mali na si letter D, mali na rin si letter B, no? So, inaccurate tong letter B. Kasi nga, ang top overpopulation countries is China. Nandyan din si Philippines, nandyan din si India. And located sila sa Asia. Okay, so mali na si letter B. No? So, letter C, about the same as those of the West. So, Western countries, di ba? Particularly those in Europe and North America, generally have lower population densities compared to many Asian countries, teachers. No? Tandaan nyo yan. So, therefore, mali na rin si letter C. So, ang tamang sagot dito is high. Okay? So, ang population dito sa Asia is napakataas. Okay? So, rationalization. So, population densities in Asia are generally high. No? Several Asian countries have some of the highest population densities in the world, driven by large populations and varying land areas. So, urban areas in countries like India, China, Japan, and South Korea are particularly densely populated. No? So, high, di ba? Kasi nga, si Asia, kilala siya for having some of the highest population densities in the world. Diba? So, common knowledge na lang siya. So, let's proceed. So, good evening po, Ma'am Franz Carmela. Nakilang po kong pahabol, ma'am. Basta okay po yung audio, no? Kung okay yung audio, i-upload naman natin siya. Pero kung hindi siya okay, stay na lang siya dito sa Facebook. Okay, so number 8. In monsoon Asia, which means of economic subsistence has generally dominated? A. Agriculture. B. Commerce. C. Industry. D. None of the above. Big niya. Nakagano'n ako. Okay, so teachers, tandaan nyo kapag may none of the above sa option, lalong-lalo sa majorship, huwag nyo na siyang isagot. Okay? Alisin nyo na agad si letter D. At huwag din tayong sasagot ng letter E. Okay? So, in monsoon Asia, which means of economic subsistence. Okay? Economic subsistence is generally dominated. Okay? Saan dyan yung nagdo-dominate? Okay? So, i-analyze natin yung question. I-comprehend muna natin siya. Okay? Pero before that, mag-water break lang ako saglit. Mainit to. Nice. So, the question asks about the dominant, no, means of economic subsistence in monsoon Asia. So, understanding the primary economic activities in this region influenced by its climatic and geographical conditions, no, helps us in answering the question correctly. Okay? So, economic subsistence, tapos meron din siyang clue word na monsoon Asia. Okay? So, kapag sinabi nating monsoon, i-incorporate natin siya, no, sa mga climate. Okay? So, letter B, no, commerce. So, mali na si letter B, commerce, no? While commerce is significant in monsoon Asia, no, especially in urban centers and trading hubs, it has not historically, no, been the dominant means of subsistence for the majority of the population. So, trade and commerce, no, tend to complement the agricultural economy rather than dominate it. Okay? So, letter C, industry. So, industrialization has become increasingly important in recent decades, di ba? So, particularly in countries like China, India, and South Korea. Kaya nga sabi nila sa China, no, sleeping giant noon, di ba? So, however, historically and traditionally, industry has not been the primary means of subsistence, no, in Monsoon Asia. So, ang tamang sagot dito, teachers, is letter A, no, agriculture. Okay, so tandaan natin, teachers, na Monsoon Asia is characterized by its dependence on the seasonal monsoon rains, no, which are crucial for agriculture. So the region has historically relied on rice and other crop cultivations, no, tulad ng mais, ng mga gulay, no, as the primary means of economic subsistence. So, tandaan natin, teachers, na food ang pinaka-importanteng need ng isang tao. Okay? So, the fertile plains, no, and regular rainfall make agriculture the most viable and widespread economic activity. Dahil sa agriculture, no, nasusustain ng tao yung kanilang pamumuhay. Okay? So, ang tamang sagot dyan ay agriculture. So, nandito ang ating rationalization. Okay, so agriculture has generally dominated as the means of economic subsistence in Monsoon Asia. The region's reliance on monsoon rains for growing crops like rice has been a defining characteristic of its economic activities for centuries. This agriculture dependence is rooted in the region's climatic conditions, soil fertility, and cultural practices. So let's proceed, no? Thus far, the emergence of civilization in China is best documented in blank. Along the river, Yellow River, B on the coast, in C in Manchuria, and D in Yunnan. Okay, so comment down your answers. So, tamang sagot na tayo agad dito, no? So, ang clue word is civilization in China. So, sino? Anong sagot? Wang Ho at ano yung dalawang river dun? Review lang, no? Wang Ho and Yangtze rivers, di ba? So, ang tamang sagot dito ay letter A agad, di ba? Okay, so, Rasyo, kasi bonus question naman siya, no? The emergence of civilization in China is best documented along the river, Yellow River. Okay. This region is historically significant for the development of early Chinese societies and states. The Yellow River Valley provided fertile land, water resources, and a conducive environment for agriculture and settlement, leading to the rise of early Chinese dynasties. Okay? Yan. So, very good, ma'am, no? Nakatama. Okay, so the Yellow River, no? Also known as the Wanghe or Wangho. Diba? Nire-refer siya as the cradle of Chinese civilization, diba? So, ano ba yung mga unang early Chinese dynasties? Yung Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties, diba? Sila yung mga nangunguna. Kasi nga, nag-develop ito along the Yellow River Valley, no? And along this Yellow River or the Wanghe, no? Well documented kasi siya as the birthplace of Chinese civilization, no? And madami siyang archaeological discoveries, no, na natagpuan dyan sa Yellow River na yan. Okay, so let's proceed. So, number 10, Japan's earliest Neolithic culture was the blank. A. Han. B. Hoa Bian. Binyan. Basta yan, no? Si Jomon. And D. Yin. Mukhang bagong question to, no? Na-encounter nyo na ba to, teachers? So, anong clue word natin? Japan's earliest Neolithic culture. So, newest culture, Neolithic culture, no? And based lang siya sa ating mga available option. Okay, so alisin na natin dito si letter A. Bakit alisin natin si letter A? Halata naman, no? Han. Han is from China, di ba? Han refers to a Chinese dynasty and not to a Neolithic culture in Japan. Kaya mali na si A. And si letter B naman, Hoa bin Yan, no? So, yung culture na yan, no, associated yan sa Southeast Asia. Particularly areas like Vietnam, Laos, and Thailand. No? So, hindi siya related sa Japan's Neolithic history. Okay, so C or D? So, alisin na rin natin si D, no? Kasi from Chinese dynasty na din yan eh. No? Hindi siya Neolithic culture sa Japan. So, ang tamang sagot dyan ay Jomon. Okay? Jomon. So, ano nga ba itong si Jomon? So, the Jomon culture in Japan's earliest Neolithic culture characterized by its unique pottery, early sedentary lifestyle, and subsistence practices. So, the term Jomon itself refers to the cord mark patterns on their pottery, a significant hallmark of Japan's culture. Okay? So, yung culture na Jomon, no, noted for its distinctive pottery, which is among the oldest in the world, no, as well as its early forms of sedentary living, hunting, gathering, and fishing practices. Okay? So, yung Jomon people kasi, no, sila yung isa sa mga kauna-unahang nag-develop ng pottery and nag-establish ng semi-sedentary communities, no, laying the foundations for later Japanese cultural and societal development. Okay? So, let's proceed to number 11. Yes, Japanjo. Tama. Okay lang yan, no? Okay lang magkamali. Kasi nga, pag nagkakamali tayo, natututo tayo, di ba? So, which of the following is not one of the sacred texts of Hinduism? So, dito na, religion na. So, tip lang teachers na alamin nyo ang foundation, content, and context ng bawat religion. Okay? Aralin nyo yung mga yan. Kasi di natin alam kung ano ang lalabas sa mga yan, no? Pero for sure, merong Christianity dyan. Merong case system. Merong ano pa ba yung mga common na question sa board exam about religion? Islam. Meron si Buddha, Buddhism. Siddhartha, no? Oy, thank you Doc Abby for the heart reacts. Grabe. Grabe naman si Doc. Thank you Doc for the support, no? A. Vedas, B. Mahabharata, C. Bhagavad Gita, D. Upanishads. So lahat naman yan, no, is under Hinduism. Pero saan dyan yung hindi, no? Sacred text daw. Okay, so i-analyze natin yung option, no? So i-analyze natin yung option. So Vedas, no? So kapag sinabi nating Vedas, no, isa siyang collection of ancient sacred texts that form the foundation of Hindu religious knowledge and practices. No? So si Vedas, isa siyang sacred text. So yung question natin is saan dyan ang hindi? So alisin na natin si Vedas, no? Kasi si Vedas, no, nagko-consist kasi siya ng 4 na main collection. Yung Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. So, dapat alam nyo din yung apat na yun, no? Yung Rig Veda, Sama Veda, ano pa yun? Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda, no? Alam niyo yung difference kasi tinatanong din yan. And si Vedas din, kinocompose siya ng Vedic Sanskrit, no? Na yung Vedic Sanskrit, no? Isa siyang text na nag-include ng hymns, ng rituals, ng philosophical discussions, and are considered the earliest and most authoritative scripture ng Hinduism. Okay? So, si letter C, Bhagavad Gita. So, si Bhagavad Gita, no? Isa naman siyang 700 verse Hindu scripture that is part of the Mahabharata. Okay? So, si Bhagavad Gita, isa siyang sacred text where Lord Krishna, no, imparts spiritual wisdom and guidance to the Prince Arjuna, no, sa battlefield of Kurukshetra, no, Kurukshetra. Okay, so the Bhagavad Gita teachers, no, addresses the concept of duty, righteousness, and the nature of reality and the self, making it a central text in Hindu philosophy and spirituality. Okay? So, the Upanishad. Okay, so kapag sabi natin Upanishad, no, isa naman siyang collection of philosophical texts that explore the concept introduced in the Vedas. Kapag sinabi natin Vedas, isa siyang sacred text, no? So, Upanishads, no, nagpo-form siya ng theoretical basis for much of Hindu thought, no? Including ideas about the nature of reality, the self, and the ultimate reality, no? So, si Upanishad, kinoconsider siya as part of the Vedic literature and highly revered for their spiritual insights. So, ang tamang sagot dito ay Mahabharata. Okay? So, Mahabharata. So, ano nga ba si Mahabharata, no? Si Mahabharata, no, while immensely important in Hindu culture and literature, is not classified as a sacred text in the same way as the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Upanishads, no? It is an epic narrative that consists elements of history, mythology, and spiritual teachings, but its primary classification is as of a historical and epic text. Okay? So, kapag sinabi nating Mahabharata, no, is one of the two major Sanskrit epics of ancient India, no? Yung isang major Sanskrit epics nila is yung Ramayana. So, isang clue lang sa Mahabharata, may sagot kasi na Mahabharata and yung question is longest, no? Longest epic Sanskrit. Parang ganun yung question and ang sagot dun Mahabharata. So, i-clue nyo na lang na Mahabharata is mahaba. Okay? So, Mahabharata, mahaba. No? So, let's proceed with the next item. So, hello Ma'am Kathleen Likanray. So, which of the following is not a central doctrine in Hinduism? A. Karma. B. Reincarnation. D. Dharma. D. Priesthood authority. So, intelligent guess na lang, no? Is not. So, lahat ng option, no? Under Hinduism din naman siya. Pero saan dyan yung hindi, no? Yung not a central doctrine. So, kung ito ang itatanong sa akin sa board exam, no? And wala akong knowledge about dito. Dun ako sa letter D, priesthood authority. So, bakit? So, from the term priesthood, i-incorporate ko siya sa Catholicism. Right? So, kahit di ko to alam, isasagot ko pa rin sa letter D, which makes letter D as the correct answer dito sa question na to. Kasi nga, although, under Hinduism din naman siya, no, kino-consider as under Hinduism. Kasi nga, priesthood authority, no, meron kasi silang Brahmins. Okay? Yung Brahmins, isa silang priests, no? Class of priests sila, no? who perform rituals and guide religious practices, no? Ang kaso nga lang, yung concept ng priesthood authority, no, hindi siya nagwe-weigh, no, as the other option na nakalist dito. So, the role of Brahmins or yung priests sa Hinduism, no, is important, but Hinduism does not centrally revolve around a hierarchical priestly authority like some other religions, specifically Christianity. No, that makes letter D as the right answer dito. Okay? So may priest sila pero hindi siya yung central doctrine. Okay, so ratio. The concept of priesthood authority is not a central doctrine in Hinduism. In the same way that karma, reincarnation, and dharma are. So while Brahmins play a crucial, significant role in religious rituals and guidance, the central doctrines of Hinduism focus more on the philosophical and ethical principles of karma, reincarnation, and dharma. So ano nga ba itong karma? Excuse me. Pag sinabi natin karma kasi, no, isa siyang fundamental concept in Hinduism that refers to the law of cause and effect, no? Na yung actions ng individuals sa kanilang buhay and sa kanilang mga past lives, no? Previous lives determine their future destinies. Na kapag mabait ka sa buhay mo ngayon, no, good karma ang future destiny mo. Kapag masama, hindi ka daw may enlighten, no? So pabalik-balik ka lang daw sa buhay mo, sa cycle ng life mo, no? So reincarnation, no? Reincarnation or samsara, right? So the reincarnation or samsara, no, is the belief in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. So according to this doctrine, no, the soul or yung sinasabi nilang Atman sa context ng Hinduism, no, yung the soul or the Atman is reborn in different forms until it achieves liberation or moksha, no. So this concept is central sa Hinduism and deeply intertwined with the ideas of karma and dharma. Pag sinabi naman nating dharma, no, tumutukoy lang ito sa moral and ethical duties and responsibilities prescribed sa isang individual, no, according sa kanilang class, no, or yung stage of life nila. Okay? So let's proceed with the next question. So the Hindus believe that good and evil are blank. A are separated forces forever in conflict. B are contained in all things, even the gods. C contend for control of man's lives. D are limited only to those things of this world. Okay. So number 13. So what's this number 13? So the question asks about the Hindu perspective on the nature of good and evil, right? So to answer this question correctly, no, we need to understand the philosophical and theological concepts within Hinduism regarding morality and the nature of existence. So, option, i-analyze natin yung mga option. So, option letter A, are separated forces forever in conflict. Grabe ba, no? So, this option, no, separate forces forever in conflict. So, nagsasuggest siya ng dualistic view, no, where good and evil are seen as distinct and opposing forces, no, perpetually in conflict with each other. So this perspective is more aligned with certain Western religious and philosophical traditions rather than Hinduism. So mali sa letter A. So letter C, contend for control of men's lives. So itong option na to, no, nagsasuggest siya ng view where good and evil are seen as active forces competing for influence over human beings' lives. No, so it implies a constant struggle or battle between these forces within the human realm. So mali din siya, no? So letter D are limited only to things of this world. So Hinduism, tandaan natin, no, hindi siya nagko-confine sa concepts of good and evil solely to the physical world, no? Instead, yung concepts ng Hinduism sa good of evil, no, ina-acknowledge niya yung existence in both the material and spiritual realms, no, dito sa mundong ibabaw and sa mundo ng mga Diyos, no. So that makes letter B the correct answer, no, are contained in all things, even the gods. So tandaan natin na according sa philosophy ng Hindu, no, ang mundo daw is gino-govern ng concepts of duality where good and evil coexist. Hindi sila tulad ng letter A na in conflict in forever, no? Conflict, separate forces forever in conflict. Kasi yung duality sa philosophy ng Hindu, yung good and evil nag-coexist, no? Coexist in various forms and degrees within all aspects of existence. Ikaw man ay tao, ikaw man ay Diyos, ikaw man ay hayop, or whatever na, basta all living beings, no? So, ito yung isa sa mga central doctrine ng Hinduism. Okay? So, let's go with the rationalization. Para makita nyo rin. Okay, so in Hindu philosophy, the nature of good and evil is understood through the concept of duality or dvaita, no? So where both are inherent aspects of existence. Good or dharma and evil adharma, no, exist in varying degrees within all beings and aspects of creations, including gods, humans, and the universe itself. This perspective emphasizes the interconnectedness and balance of opposing forces within the cosmic order. Okay? So, let's proceed to the next question. So, Confucianism provided the moral and social foundations of blank. A. Burma or Myanmar. B. India. C. China. D. Tibet. So, clue word is Confucianism. Provided the moral and social foundations of blank. Okay. So, the question asks, no? So, which countries' moral and social foundations were significantly influenced by Confucianism? Okay, so analyze natin yung option. So, kapag sinabi natin Burma or Myanmar, no, meron siyang rich cultural and religious history, predominantly influenced by Theravada Buddhism. Okay? So, Buddhism sa Burma or Myanmar. So, while other culture elements have influenced Burmese society, Confucianism sa Myanmar has not played a central role in shaping its moral and social foundations. Okay, so mali si letter A. So, let's go with letter B, India. So, India's moral and social foundations are primarily rooted in Hinduism, no? Madami yan, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and later Islam and Sikhism. Okay? Madami dyan sa India, no? Pero yung Confucianism kasi, hindi siya, hindi na-influence ng India sa Confucianism, no? So, letter D, Tibet. So, ano ba to, no? Yung Tibetan culture and social foundations are deeply rooted in Tibetan Buddhism. Okay, so Buddhism din si letter D, no? So, that makes letter C, China, as the correct answer. Kasi nga, dito naman nagmula si Confucius, di ba? No? Siya yung nag-found, no? Siya yung nag-establish sa Confucianism, no? And itong Confucianism, shinape niya yung Chinese culture, yung social structure, and yung governance ng China. No? So, sa China din nagsimula ang civil service examination. Okay? So, it emphasizes moral integrity, social harmony, filial piety, and proper conduct within familiar and societal relationships. No? So, Confucian principle has been integral to Chinese education, government, and personal conduct for century. Okay? So, that makes letter C as the correct answer. Yes, Ma'am Kathleen, China. Tama. And Ma'am Chan. So, here's the rationalization. So, Confucianism provided the moral and social foundations of China. And Confucian values and principles have deeply influenced Chinese society, including its government, education system, family structure, and interpersonal relationship. And Confucianism is one of the most influential religious philosophies in the history of China, and it has existed over 2,500 years ago, no? So it is concerned with the inner virtue, morality, and respect for the community and its values. So let's proceed with the next question. So Shinto emphasizes all but which of the following? So Shinto emphasizes all. So, but which of the following? So A, ritual purity. B, manifestation of natural force like mountains, rocks, and waterfalls. C, cleanliness. D, obedience to a high priest. So, Shintoism, no? I-analyze natin yung question muna. So, the question asks which of the given option is not emphasized by Shinto. So, the indigenous spirituality of Japan, no? So, understanding the core beliefs and practices of Shinto will help us, no, in identifying the correct answer for this question. So, let's analyze the option, no? So, A, ritual purity. Kapag sinabi nating ritual purity, no, sa context ng Shinto, meron kasi itong spiritual purity, meron siyang strong emphasis, no, sa Shintoism, no, kasi nga pinapractice dito yung purification, no, such as washing hands and mouth before entering a shrine, no, and essential siya sa Shinto kasi nga nagme-maintain siya ng spiritual cleanliness and harmony with the kami or yung spirits nila, no. So, letter B, manifestation of natural force like mountains, rocks, and waterfalls. So, Shinto, no, reveres natural features and phenomena as manifestation of kami or yung spirits nila. Yung natural features kasi like mountains, rocks, and waterfalls, sinasabi dyan, parang sila yung tinitirhan, no, ng mga spirits, no? And dahil nga tinitirhan sila ng mga spirits, no, kino-consider nila, no, yung mountains, rocks, waterfalls, no, as sacred, and wina-worship din nila yan as dwelling places, no, ng mga spirits. Okay, so nire-respect nila yung nature. Okay? So, kapag sinabi natin cleanliness, letter C, no? So, related lang siya sa ritual purity. Yung sa letter A, no? Kasi nga, maintaining physical and spiritual cleanliness is a fundamental practice, no? Reflecting the importance of purity in daily life and religious observance, no, makes being clean as a central doctrine sa Shinto, no? So letter D, obedience to a high priest, no? Although may priest naman ang Shintoism, no? Na yung priest nila tinatawag nilang kanushi, na nagpe-perform din ng rituals and maintain shrines, no? Obedience to a high priest is not a central emphasis of Shinto. Okay, so Shinto does not have a centralized hierarchical priesthood with authoritative power over followers, unlike some other religion traditions. Na that makes letter D the correct answer, no? Na hindi kabilang. Okay? So obedience to a high priest. So obedience to a high priest is not emphasized in Shinto. So Shinto practices are community of focus and involve personal and communal interactions with the kami or yung spirits, no, through rituals and festivals rather than a hierarchical obedience to religious authorities. Okay, so that ends our live today, no? Kasi nga 1 hour daily lang to yung live natin. Okay? So bukas 6 PM ulit. Live ulit tayo ng 1 hour. Okay, completein natin. 100 items din kasi ito eh. So 1 to 15 pa lang yung tatapusin natin. So thank you for listening, no? And good luck sa review ninyo. So 6 PM ulit tayo bukas. Okay? So, okay ba yung audio? Kung okay yung audio, i-upload natin sa YouTube para mapanood nyo ulit. Okay lang, ma'am. Kung na-late, no? At least, nakahabol naman kayo. Okay, so thank you din po. Welcome po. And good luck, future LPTs. So, goodbye, no? May gagawin pa po kasi. So, siningit ko lang si live stream, no? Thank you din po, Sir Ma'am Arlene Obispo Melan. Okay, thank you po.